the one, the only Erin Schiller with Ticor Title. Sorry a little bit about the delay. We were having some small technical difficulties, but it looks like we figured it out, and here we are. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Jared. It's nice to see you.
How are you in your home office there?
It's a little weird.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's not something I'm used to because I like being out and talking to people and being at the office, and it's been different.
Right.
So the nice thing is I have a good view of my neighbors. So
So you can wave at them. Hi, neighbors.
I do. I see a lot of activity going on back and forth. It's kind of interesting. So yeah.
So is Steve there with you too? Is he at home?
No, so just myself and my daughter. My daughter is going nuts though because she's like she doesn't like me home because she's on spring break and she's
Right.
I'm interrupting her world right
Right.
now. So,
right.
But
This
Steve is
like
working.
her time.
Yeah, management and a lot of our escrow and title staff are still at the office. They just sent some of us home that weren't essential, I guess.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So tell me, so we're live with, there's 1,200 members here in the group, and they are from all over Northern Nevada. So some people, believe it or not, may not know who you are and may not know your history in the business. So can you give us a synopsis of who you are, what's your history in the biz, and have you been through times like this before?
So yeah, so I've lived here in Reno Sparks area since 1983. Grew up here, went to middle school, high school, college. I've been in the real estate industry for 32 years, working in the industry, but I've been in the real estate business like over 40 years. A long story, but my parents were real estate agents, so I grew up in the business. So it's been part of my life. Right now, I'm the vice president, regional sales executive, and education director for Ticor Title, and also for my family of companies, the Fidelity National Title Group, which encompasses Fidelity Title, Chicago Title, Lawyers Title, Security Title. I mean, all of our offices throughout the United States. And I do a lot of education for our offices in Las Vegas and here, and just kind of help educate the real estate community and lending community.
So you work with a lot of agents, a lot of top producers here in the market. You're well known here in the Reno Sparks Tahoe area. Tell me, are there any similarities to what's happening now in our market to what happened in the end of the 2000s, 2008, 9, 10? Are you seeing any similarities?
Yeah, it's interesting. So going back to my childhood, in 1981, the interest rates were at 21%. My parents lost their business. Then, you get into, I've been in the industry, real estate side since 88, and we've always gone through tough times. It's been, it's never going to change. We're always going to have to adjust to any market change or any shift in the market. And, I remember 9/11 kind of reminds me of this. I remember just everybody just stopped. And I remember sitting at my office at the title company I worked for, and, it was just kind of catastrophic. It was horrible, and everybody was really, really scared. But then we all got together and supported each other. We banded together as a community. And I noticed that on the real estate and lending side, and throughout the United States and throughout the world. It was kind of amazing. So I almost think that this is more similar to the 9/11 situation than even the financial crisis. The financial crisis. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to ask, in the 9/11 situation. So for probably many of the agents and real estate professionals who are watching right now, They may have not even have been around during the financial crisis of 07, 08, 09, right? And they certainly may have not been around in real estate for 9/11. So if you're saying that on September 11th, that essentially on September 12th, business just shut down, or everybody kind of halted a little bit, and that feels more similar. How long was it until you felt the market was moving again?
It took a good probably 6 months. We started seeing that people were starting to feel more comfortable every day, every week, every month. And then by 6 months, I would say things started really kind of, calming down. And I think our government really took control over, our flying and capabilities, of scanning, and Homeland Security became a big part of that. So, I think we just all adjusted at that time. During the financial crisis, there was a lot of real estate clients of mine that were either 100% on board, ready to go, and, just kind of adjusted to that, shift that happened. And then there's some of them that said, I don't want to have anything to do with it, I'm out. So it
Right.
was kind of interesting, to see those who really, really decided in them within themselves to say, I'm ready, I'm going to make the change. And I think that's where we're in right now, is we need to adapt, we need to adjust, we need to educate ourselves, and we need to move forward. And I think it's just, this might have been a correction, Jared. I mean, I think
Mhm.
it's a correction in our mindset, because I think we got a little bit complacent for a while.
Right. Yeah. Real estate got easy, right?
Yeah.
What
It,
what do you see? What is adjusting? What's realigning? What does that look like practically for an agent or a real estate professional out there?
so, in our market, and I think in a lot of markets, and I've talked to a lot of our sales executives throughout the US recently, and we're all going through one thing, and that's technology change. We are now doing our business differently. Now we're going to get pushed to do something different. And that is exactly what we're doing right now. The meetings through Facebook and social media, making, doing everything digital. Even our office has been ready and willing to make the change and go 100% digital. But the problem is our real estate community and some of our lending community wasn't ready for that. So, now it's just going to push us to do it anyway, because that's the only way to survive. And so we just have to embrace this and change. So I mean, I'm excited about it, because there's some things that, I mean, I feel like I've been more in touch with my clients this last week than I ever have been.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. Like everybody's like banding together and supporting each other, and a lot of love happening right now. It's been really good. It really
Yeah. I
has.
I texted you this morning. Good morning. I never did
Yeah,
that. Right. Like
yeah,
there's. I think this has made everybody pause a little bit and reconnect with the world around them. One of the things that we talked about yesterday with Dr. Erin, that she said we've all been on this, like this hamster wheel, and we're going, 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 going. And this kind of forced us to take a step back and really realign what's important to us.
yeah. And I love that. She was so great yesterday. I watched the whole thing. And one of the things that's been kind of interesting from hearing from clients and friends is, we get, like you said, in that hamster wheel, and we're always talking, and we're out there, and we're so busy, 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 and we have our time frames during the day, and we schedule everything. And then this has kind of made us step back and look at family differently, connecting with our families, and even our children. I mean, even though my 17-year-old right now is like, oh my gosh, mom, you're home, kind of thing. She also is like, this is kind of nice to have mom here, and it's nice to have the family here. And it is, an adjustment. And some people are like, I can't get any work done. because my kid's grabbing me or whatever, and I can't get on this webinar. But, I think it has made us really be appreciative of our family, love our family. This is a good time to take advantage, and I'm excited for it. Um, but I know this is going to change, and hopefully in a month or so, we'll all be looking back and going, okay, what did we learn from this, and where are we
Right.
going to go in the future?
Now, yeah, now what? Now what do we do, right?
Yeah.
So, fun question, just lighten up the mood a little bit. What are you watching on Netflix? What are you guys watching on Netflix or Hulu or whatever?
I haven't watched anything. I know this is really weird. We've been watching a lot of Marvel movies. I mean, we've been watching that, and I watched Spider-Man last night, and some of them. A couple of the movies that I've liked is Mandalorian. That was really good. And
That's on Disney Plus, right?
yeah, and The Witcher. That was pretty good. Alex is the one really Netflixing, not me. I've actually, I would say that my day goes so much faster in like the last few days. I mean, I'm like, this is so weird because I'm busy. It's been good, but I've been busy. The only problem is there's food downstairs, and and wine. So
Yeah. Yeah. I almost filled my cup up with wine for you, but it's only 1:30, so I thought I shouldn't do that. It might be too early, right?
yeah, if I
So
was drinking, I'd be drunk right now, but I'm not.
now
But yeah,
first, I know you can't share trade secrets or you can't share secrets of the agents that you work with. So tell me then, the agents who made it through the crisis of September 11th, which is what you said is similar to this, or even the housing crisis at the end of the 2000s. What were they doing on a day-to-day basis, or what did they do different from the agents who didn't make it and maybe had to get out of the business?
Well, so I would say they continued to educate. When we were actually one of the leading title companies to start talking about short sales and REOs, and we brought in speakers from CDPE, which was the Certified Distressed Property Expert designations, and at that time we didn't have this. We didn't have webinars and stuff like that. So we brought them in, and the real estate agents that are here today that are still doing business are the ones that attended those seminars and educated themselves and learned all about the short sale and REO business. The ones that did not, they just hibernated or they got jobs. I had a lot of clients get jobs and then came back in the market after the housing crisis. I think the thing that right now I would say every agent should be doing is reaching out to their SOI, their sphere of influence, but don't sell. This is not the time to sell. This is not the time to sell you or your at real estate. It's a time to check in and make sure your clients are good and happy. And if that conversation comes up to buy or sell, that's the time. But I would be reaching out and talking to your clients and your sphere and your friends and your family. And that's kind of what they did back then too. I mean, we didn't have the technology back then in '08. So we were talking to people, they were meeting with people. And now we have the capabilities of doing it digitally. So that's a really good opportunity. But I think everyone just embraced. Gary Keller has a really good book called The Shift. I know you know that book, and you've got to shift, and you've got to just learn it. You got to learn that every part of what's going to happen, and be prepared. Our world will change, and it'll be different in the next couple months. And financially, people will be having some difficult times. So I think you just have to say, okay, what's on the horizon and how do I learn how I can help them? And that's the biggest thing you can do as a real estate practitioner.
So what I hear you saying is, this is a huge opportunity to stay in front of your clients, stay in front of your sphere, and not do it in a salesy way. You're truly checking in on them to ensure that they're healthy and they're doing okay. And like I did to you this morning, just sending a text message saying good morning.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had, I did have a client go, oh yeah, this is great. I'm going to start calling clients. And I'm like, hold on, because you don't want that to come across negatively, because they're going through some things that you don't even know could be happening. And you just have to be kind and understand and be a resource. I think the number one thing is be a resource to your friends and family and your SOI, because what if they're in the middle of painting right now or want to paint? Well, do you have a painter that you could help them paint the house? Or do you have a contractor? Because some of these contractors and painters might not be doing any business right now. So look at it as a resource, because eventually this is all going to come back to you. I believe in karma. I do believe in laws of attraction. Good things, when you do good things come back to you. And I think this is the time to really be um, i- basing your business out of the heart and the love of your family and friends and clients.
So you're having conversations with one of the biggest title escrow companies in the nation. You're backed by billions of dollars. So I imagine that your company is having conversations with you on a pretty regular basis. Is there anything that they're talking about that you can share with us?
Yeah, I'm so fortunate. Our whole entire company, Ticor is owned by Fidelity National Financial, and we're a Fortune 300 company. And we were being proactive about this a month ago. Steve was having conversations with our division and regional managers weeks and a month ago, about, because we knew that this pandemic was happening. It just, you have most large companies have a business continuity department, and that's what we have in a case of a disaster, because we have offices in all throughout the United States. So you can imagine, we have offices in Napa. So when the Napa fires came in, we had an action plan. When there's been any kind of natural disaster, our company has been prepared. So we've been, talked to about, okay, what's the next step? And the number one thing that I'm happy about is the fact that we are technology savvy. So our systems are ready to go digital. We are able to pretty much, we can have every single person in our company work from home. The problem is that we still have that physical touch and physical business that needs to be done, which is, the wet signatures of the deed of trust, and note, which are hopefully our government right now is in the process of changing. So it's going to force not only our company, but everyone else to be more digital and to be able to do this business differently. And, but we're so fortunate, we have a company that's been proactive, doing some things that I would say most people would be like, I don't understand. And then now they're like, oh, now I get it. Now I know
Right.
why they're doing this, So I've gotten a little pushback from some clients and people, but now we're starting to go, now I understand why you guys are doing what you do. So
If
it's great.
anything, we will come out of this better and more adept to doing things, maybe not in person, however, still securely and encrypted, and everything that you have been teaching us about for the last, what, 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, and the one thing that's scary though, Jared, is I'm concerned about the scammers that are trying to take advantage of this time. We recently had one of our offices, not here, but in another state, where they use the coronavirus as a way to divert funds and wire funds. And, they tried, okay, but the recorder's office is going to be closing and we need to get that wiring right in it. And then they modified the wiring instructions. They got into someone's email, compromised the email of the real estate agent and lender and everybody. And, it was just like, I've been talking about this for years, the business email compromise side, but now they're using a new thing, which is the virus, this COVID-19, to get money. And it scares me because people need to just slow down, pay attention, and then, reach out to us if they have questions.
Now, I know you're very active with the Nevada Real Estate Division. You know people there, you have connections there. What are they, how has business changed for them? Or what's the message that they want agents to know?
So, yeah, I have been in conversations with the real estate division, and they want everybody to understand they don't have to go to live classes right now. I heard somebody offered a live class, don't know why they would do that. You don't need to attend any classes because they're actually going to give an extension to the real estate agents if your license is coming up for renewal on the education side, but you still have to pay for your renewal. So when you go online,
Nothing's
for,
free. Nothing's
yeah,
free.
yeah, I wish. You pay for your renewal, and I think it's not that expensive. It's not too bad. But you pay for your renewal, and then you're going to get a letter saying that you can make up your education in a few months, and get that. We had to cancel all of our education. I had 6 classes on the books and I was working for April, and I canceled all of them knowing that we just can't be in a room together right now. Everybody needs to stay home, and and it's just too hard to have that in a classroom. So the benefit to some things is 50% of your renewal and CE classes can be online. So if I were an agent right now, I'd be going online, get your 50%, and then when the 50%, the other 50% live comes out and all the education providers start doing classes, then take them. But you can still do 50% online. The real estate division, they are actually home, a lot of them working from home. I think they're a skeleton crew. It's a government. They are considered essential. That was one of the things that I was kind of involved in with the some of our some of my legislative friends, uh, because they were not sure if real estate was going to be essential. And,
Yeah,
and I'm
some
like,
states listed as not.
right. And it's like, well, how do you provide shelter and how do you stay in shelter if you don't have any shelter? And we're the ones that create shelter. So that was kind of a big thing with the governor's office. I know Teresa McKee and Carrera Nevada worked so hard for our real estate community to make sure that that happened. So, please give them a hand and thank them because they really were fighting to make sure that our state and our government understood that. And then, talking to the real estate division, they're open, but they're not physically open to the public. So it's just a new world.
And okay, so another question, and on the title side, so you guys are still closing deals, you're still signing clients, the recorder's office is still recording. Have you seen any interruption there?
So we actually had a little blip happen. I don't know if it was today or yesterday, but the recorder's office almost got inundated it's a program called Simplifile where we e-record. And so sometimes when there's so much information coming in, and documents coming in, there can be kind of a blip, and a blip happened. So I think my understanding is the recorder's office is closed to the public, but there are still people there pushing the button to e-record. So yeah, we're still closing. We're doing things differently though, and I would say be patient with all of your title friends and escrow officers, because we're adjusting too. We're adjusting to our workflow. Our workflow is so different now, and our escrow officers are, you know, changing the way they do their business, and our title department's doing things differently. Our sales team, I mean, we're all doing things differently to make sure a transaction closes. So I would say, if I were giving any advice to real estate agents, you may want to put an additional couple days, even though you wanted to close this Friday, it may close Monday or Tuesday because of just that delay of information. And we also need to protect ourselves. You know, we've closed our office is closed to the public, but we still have people in it. I had somebody say, "Oh, I didn't, you know, I heard Ticor doesn't have anybody there." I was like, "No, we do. People are there. You know, we're still doing business. We're just doing it differently." So we closed our, you know, you're only by appointment only. We're even to a point where we're sending the loan documents to the clients to have them review and sign before they come into the office. So all they have to do is sign the deed of trust and the note and any other documents. And then, you know, we take a picture. We're now taking a picture of, not making a copy of it, just from our phone, taking a picture of their ID. So, and actually we had one client do a drive-by. It was in our parking lot, because they were, you know, what we have to be concerned about, it's not just us, it's the buyers and sellers out there that may have a compromised immune system. So we're trying to be more understanding of that, but still trying to conduct and close transactions.
Mhm. Yeah, again, if it's an essential business, so to get deals closed, right, you have to be available. So we're going on about 26 minutes.
Okay.
And if there's anybody out there who has a question, now is the time to ask. This is interactive. We would love to know your questions. Erin, can you speak on at all about the 19 addendum? I saw that the Las Vegas Association of Realtors, they put theirs out first, it looked like, and then the Reno Sparks Association of Realtors followed up with that. I know you can't give legal advice around it, and maybe you can't even say this. When is that addendum good to use, or when should an agent consider using that?
You know, I don't know. I mean, I was involved in, because I'm on the committee for this, and I knew that one of my friends in Las Vegas had shared that they were doing it, and all of the associations came out with one, you know, similar. You know, I think definitely you need to talk to your broker and ask them when the appropriate time is. I wouldn't ever just on your own do that. I think everyone needs to reach out to their brokers or managers and look at that. I think it's a I think it's a really good thing that they came out with it, though, because I will say there has been cancellations. And I think we need to recognize and I'm glad that they did it so quickly. I mean, thank
Yeah,
you.
I was surprised how quick it came
Yeah,
out.
the
Yeah.
Reno Sports Association really got on that, and April Labrie, the president of the association, and Eric Lamb, and all of them were on this. But there's going to be a time and a place, and it wouldn't hurt to be looking at that addendum on any transaction. I mean, but the circumstances of each property and every transaction is different, right? And so, you know, I think reach out to your brokers and say, hey, which one is you know, when's the best time for me to approach this?
Yeah.
But I'm still seeing people opening escrows. I will say this has been actually kind of interesting, because I get a list of all the opened transactions, and we're still doing business. We're still opening escrows. People are still closing their transactions. I think there's some uncertainty, but there's people that are saying, hey, this is going to blow over, and it will. This
Yeah.
is going to go away one day. You know, it's not going to happen. This is, you know, but the government's just doing things aggressively and being proactive to make sure we get through this faster. And I use the analogy, they're trying to rip off the Band-Aid because if the Band-Aid sticks for a little bit longer, it's going to be harder to take off, right? So we just need to rip the Band-Aid off, stay home, stay secure, don't do things you don't have to be doing, and then we'll be through this faster.
Yeah.
And that's the only way. I mean,
Yeah, that was going to be one of my next questions was, are you I shared a graphic on the group a couple days ago about showings, and thank you, Garrett Stewart, for sharing that graphic with me. Showings through showing time are down. So I was wondering, are you seeing a significant decrease in escrows open orders?
yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen a slowdown. I mean, it's definitely a slowdown, but I think that showings I think people are doing showings differently.
Yeah.
They're doing virtual open houses and virtual showings, and this is the time to be talking to and getting your virtual tours up and running, and doing business differently. I think that we will see a little blip and slowness, but kind of my thought is, and after talking to some of my top producers I work with nationwide, they are predicting that we're going to have a complete increase in listings coming on the market after this gets through. Because, we've got a pent up demand, especially in Northern Nevada, so people are going to want to move over here from California because, I mean, and we were already kind of in a good spot in Northern Nevada. And I think I think there's going to be more people moving here. So be ready for those listings to pop. So that's why it's really important for the agents to be reaching out to their client database, do some farming, do some direct mail farming, try not to door knock, that's not appropriate at this time. But there's other door knock on Facebook, door knock in other ways.
I was going to say, if you talked about agents learning something new, or that they were continuing to educate themselves during the last downturn, so this would be such a great opportunity to educate yourself about video, virtual showings, virtual open houses, so that if we're thinking about the people coming from California, imagine if you could get on the phone with somebody. You've got something very polished, or you have your system in place where you can make sure that you're showing them in a manner and they don't have to be here to see it. I know some agents are already doing that, but it certainly seems like now is the time to get even better on that.
Yeah, and there's a thing called a cell phone. If you can do that. I mean, there's so many exactly. I mean, we just have to think outside the box and be different and be proactive. When people said, I am never going to do a short sale or an REO, they ended up getting forced to do them. And to live and to survive. Well, guess what? This is our way of survival, and just have to embrace it and love it and learn about it. And people that go, I'm not techie, I can't do this. Well, we had technology issues when we got online here,
Right.
and that was my fault, by the way. I'll admit that. But I just had to change a setting, and there's people that are
But you
like,
can figure it out. Yeah,
yeah.
you can figure it out. Yeah. So you would say, actually, that brings up a good point. This could be the shift in the real estate industry where technology becomes more important than it ever has been before. Just like before, you needed to learn that short sale and you needed to learn how to do that REO. Now the world is telling you need to learn tech.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even our escrow staff has been a little bit scared because we had technology that they didn't want to accept and work on. And now it's kind of forcing them to do that. And then I'm seeing agents who were giving us a hard time about their hard copy closing package. Now they're okay it being sent digitally. you know. And then the other thing too is we're encouraging the real estate brokers to accept wire commission checks instead of delivery right now, because we don't want to be delivering to offices. And so I've got more brokers going, yeah, you guys can do that. I'm like, yeah, we've been
Yeah.
doing it for a while, but we just have to think differently and find solutions. So this is actually going to be kind of nice because they're going to get their commission checks probably faster through wire. They're going to get their closing packages digitally and not have a hard copy. It's just the mindset. And so we're ready. We're ready, but I'm excited. So what do you see, Jared? I'm going to turn the table on you now. What do you see on your side? Because you and Michael have Kay Donovan and staging, and what are you seeing on your side?
Yeah, I'm seeing that agents are looking at the market right now and saying, how do I differentiate myself from every other listing, right? And think about the virtual showing, the virtual open house, video, professional photography. That's more important now than ever, so that you're differentiating yourself from the neighbor next door, right? So if you want your listing to stand out, staging it and getting professional photography will certainly do that above the vacant home, or above the home that people took pictures with their flip phone, right? So we've actually seen an increase in requests from agents, really good, smart agents, who are considering, okay, I need to be different. I need to explore all of the options for my clients, and staging, I think, is definitely one of those.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys have a great business. How's Michael doing? What is he Netflixing about?
Well, so we Netflix The Crown we Netflixed all 3 seasons of The Crown in about a week, and I'm not a binger. Like we were binge watching. What's that one show on Netflix? It takes place in Washington D.C. I can't even remember what it is now, but it's about the president, and we were binge watching that, and finally I got to the point where I'm like, just tell me how it ends because I can't watch this anymore, right? Well, I made it through The Crown, 30 episodes in a week. So it was a really good show. If you haven't watched it, it's all about the royal family. You should watch it.
Oh, fun. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll watch
And I went through an entire bottle of vodka that I was gifted. So
Nice.
in that week, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my cooking skills are getting better too. So I'm
Right. You're just honing it in. House of Cards. Yes. Whoever just posted House of Cards. Beth. Thank you, Beth and Elko. Yep. House of
yeah,
Cards.
we're
Yeah.
seeing House Stars, West Wing. Yeah.
No, not the West Wing. It was House of Cards. I couldn't, I think by the 3rd season, I couldn't do it anymore. So I had to move on.
Yeah. I think we're just doing things differently. And I do miss being in the office though and talking to clients and everything. So hopefully this will get over very soon so we can all
I miss,
enjoy.
I'm not a cook, right? So I miss the eating out, going to restaurants. If you can believe it, we've ate at home. I mean, we don't have an option, but we ate at home for like a week now, and that's just weird because we never eat at home.
So are you cooking or are you getting takeout?
Both.
I was wondering. And who's the cook?
Neither one of us, right? It's a lot of heating up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, and trying to support the local businesses too. I would say we all need to, go and do some takeout. And I mean, we've had some great dinners when we don't want to cook or not cooking. And, there's Roundabout Cooking or Roundabout Catering is doing, they do a great job. Beaujolais you and I were supposed to go to dinner there
Yeah,
soon,
yeah.
but there's just the local restaurants and businesses that we need to support and help. So, I think everybody, I mean, yeah, the cooking thing.
Aaron, are you? I don't know if you can see the messages next to us. Chris Smith, I just see he misses the strip clubs. Oh God. All right, Chris.
Nice. That's
Uh,
nice. I gotta say, I'm a little concerned about one thing is, in a couple weeks, this is gonna be more gray
yeah.
here. So I might be wearing hats and kind of doing something a little different, maybe a do-rag or I don't know. I mean, like,
No,
it's
all
gonna,
of a sudden, yeah, you'll be very much into hats. All of a sudden, that'll be you.
yeah, right. I mean, and the nails I had to go down to, all of it's different. I mean, but I'm
Yeah,
still wearing makeup and doing my hair. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And you can buy that at Walgreens if you need, if you run out, right? Yeah, it's essential.
It is essential.
Uh,
So yeah, I guess, does anybody else have any questions or
I
comments?
love I love we get onto restaurants and staging and strip clubs. Mika and Brittany, they say Erin can't cook question mark.
No, no,
No.
I'm not a very good cook. So last night I did make a halibut dish that went really well. I have like maybe 5 or 6 good dishes,
I
and
saw that. It looked really good, Erin. Good
it
job on
did.
that outfit.
It was good,
Yeah.
but it's very hit and miss. I get distracted, and then Steve actually come in right after I was kind of done, but my timing was off. So I'm not very good at the timing side of having everything done at the same time. So, but it was okay. But definitely like Steve cooking. That's the what
That's
I
his role.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's his role.
that's his role.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
a good wine pourer.
I
Yeah.
drink wine and sit there and wait for dinner to be served, and then I do.
Right. I might do the same thing a little bit too. And I love the I've been telling everybody about the Oreo thins that are dipped in fudge. Oh man, they're good.
Are
That's
they
why
good?
I'm getting this like second chin right here. Yeah, to work
Yeah,
on that.
the whole eating thing has been really, really difficult because I can snack. When I was at the office, we didn't have that many snacks. So yeah,
Yes, yeah, yes. Yeah,
good
Allison
call.
Ruffalo, she got me a basket of licorice and there's probably 20 bags of licorice in there and I just kept eating, 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 eating. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
Elizabeth Marty says we need to Pinterest. Yes.
yes, I do have a Pinterest if anybody wants to. I do have some really good recipes that I have Steve make. If anybody wants to.
You find it and you hunt it and he cooks it.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely.
yeah.
But yeah, I think this is going to be fun. I see Elizabeth Grace Marty's on. Hi, Elizabeth. I know you're going to have a baby soon, so hopefully everything's well.
I know, and she's in a remodel. If you guys aren't friends with Elizabeth, add her. She's doing a beautiful home remodel. I'm gonna
Yeah,
hire her when she decides to quit
yeah.
being an agent. She'll come be a designer for us here at Kate Donovan.
Oh, good.
Well,
I'm not
Erin,
really bothered. You don't want me to decorate. You can see the white walls behind me. I have nothing
yeah, yeah.
anywhere.
We're coming up on 2 o'clock. I'm sure you've got a meeting to go to, or a Zoom, or somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say thank you. Thanks for the insight, and thanks for talking to me. And I think that we should do our next video. We should do a virtual happy hour and drink, and maybe it could be a little bit later in the day.
Yes, I agree. I think that would be great. And, just to share with everybody, we'll be doing a lot of webinars on all of our products and tools and resources through our company. So make sure to watch out for that. Just a little plug, there is a webinar tomorrow that Eric Sachs and our coach Chelsea Pites. I think you know who Chelsea is, Jared.
I'm signed up. Yes.
#1 social media coach. And a lot of people don't know this, but she works for our company. So she actually is going to be online tomorrow and sharing what we could be doing to reach out to our SOI. So tune in because Chelsea's amazing. She's I've been coached by her. Most of our people have been at our company on our sales team. So she's one amazing person to listen to. And so is
Well,
Erin.
and I know, yeah, to go back to what you were saying about continuing to educate yourself, this is the time to do it. Technology is where it's at. And if you can learn from somebody like Chelsea, who is a social media master, you should sign up for that right away. So, Erin, I believe you posted it in the group, but will you post it again and then will you post it in the comments too?
Yeah.
I signed up and I look forward to learning from them tomorrow.
Yeah, it's great. And thanks, Jared, for having me. And again, everyone, we will get through this and our market will adjust. And we just need to go with the shift and stay positive and do what we normally don't do. You know, we just have to adjust to this new normal, is what I call it. It's the new normal, it's
Yeah.
the new world. And we never thought 2020 would be this. I mean, think about it 2020. We had a pandemic in 2020. But we're going to do it. We're going
Yeah.
to it's going to be great. We're all going to be fine. So
Yeah.
thanks,
Yeah,
Jared.
it's about shifting your business, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Erin. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for watching and commenting and being a part of this community. I truly, truly appreciate it. I know Erin does too. And watch for my post coming up about who our guests will be next week. I'm excited to share. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Erin.
Virtual hugs. Virtual hugs.
Virtual. Bye.
Bye.